Hello, and welcome to Illini West High School's Freshman Orientation 2021. We hope tonight's going to be informative, and the agenda in front of you will give you an idea of the things that we are going to cover. If it's highlighted in yellow, it's either a handout in your folder, or it's going to be a link in the YouTube comments below. We hope that you find this informative, and as always, if you have any questions, feel free to get in touch with us at illiniwest.org. Thank you.
Welcome to Freshman Orientation. I'm Scott Schneider, IWHS Principal. We have a great deal of information to present to you about what IW has to offer. Please feel free to contact Mr. Bliss or myself with any questions you might have. Now I'd like to introduce Ryan Bliss, IW Guidance Counselor. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Mr. Bliss. I'm the school counselor at Illini West High School, and I just want to thank you and welcome you to Illini West as you prepare for next year, finishing out 8th grade and prepare for next year. I'm going to go over some things that we need to be looking at preparing you for in order to get you registered for classes and thinking about what you're going to be doing in the next 4 years. I will be sharing a PowerPoint and have a couple other visuals, I guess, to share. I just want to thank you for joining us. You know, obviously this is typically done in person at the Legacy Theater, but with circumstances. We'll also have some other recorded presentations that you'll be able to see here for this freshman orientation. And wherever you are watching this, I just want to, again, thank you for attending. So right now I'm going to go ahead and share what we've got here with the PowerPoint. Pull it up. All right. So just want to, another introduction here. You know, this is something that we do every year, trying to get you guys as 8th graders to start thinking about for high school, making you aware of the different programs that we have, the different steps to enrolling and attending for next year. It's a big change. We understand that. And we try to think of everything we can to help you make that transition smoothly. So this is part of that and kind of the first kind of contact you have with the high school in terms of getting you ready. We'll also have a loop night that will be held right before school starts in the fall, and that will, you know, we'll walk you through your schedule and kind of we'll give your parents a little informational session. You'll get to meet your teachers, you know, those kind of things, and that's very helpful as well. So just everybody should have excuse me, a folder, and this is the folder table of contents, kind of everything that's in that folder. I'm not going to go through every single form. I've just listed what you should have in terms of the forms on the left side and the right side. I try to keep them in order, so it's just easier to communicate that information to you. You'll see anything from potential classes that you could be taking to information on athletics, health and immunization, you know, our opportunities with music, those kind of things. So this should be in order for you. One thing that the most important piece of information in this packet is the class registration form. It's blue and it looks like this. And this will be the form that you bring with you when you register for classes. I will be coming to your junior high. It'll probably be next week, the week of March 1st there, and be talking to you guys and register you one school at a time. So at that point, I'd be able to take questions from you. So write your questions down, that's fine. And then we'll have you guys put your classes in and you'll be registered for high school. So the biggest part is just try to take all the information in you can tonight. Talk amongst yourselves with parents about different classes that you'd like to take, those kind of things, and you know, bring your questions with you when I come to register. Now, it's important to know that this, you know, all your classes are not set in stone. These things can be changed. You know, I work through the summer for the majority. You can always email or call me and we can make a change to a class or two here and there. That's totally understandable. I just don't want you to feel pressured to like, this is you put this down, this is what you're going to take. So, that's flexible. That's fine. All right, back to the PowerPoint here. What do you need to consider as your plan for your future? So basically, when you come to Illini West, we look at 3 different pathways that or 3 different kind of ideas here. You've got graduation. Obviously, we want everybody to graduate. That's the standard. Obviously, what classes do I need to take, and how many credits do I need to earn in order to graduate from Illini West? And that's on our next slide. I'll go through that in detail. So graduation is is the first step. That's the main reason you're here. The second reason is you're doing career exploration. What classes are going to help me, or what classes am I interested in going to help me achieve my goals and what career I want to go into. And then post-secondary would be, what kind of training or education do I need after high school in order to get myself to that career goal? Is it college? Is it tech school? Is it 2-year college if it is, or 4-year or beyond? Do I just want to go right to work after high school? Do I want to enlist in the military? Those kind of things. And, post-secondary, if you're looking at college, they're looking at your grades, obviously your grade point average, how you rank amongst your peers. How does that grade point average rank compared to the other students in your class, in your grade level? And, any test scores, which, nowadays some schools are moving away from test scores, but I think that might be coming back in. It might have been just a temporary thing with the pandemic. So test scores are going to factor in as well. So, I need to explore what career I'd like, and then what education is going to get me to that career, and what do I need to do in order to get to that education, to get to that college or training. All right, graduation requirements. Illini West requires 24 total credits, and you earn a credit by successfully completing a semester in a class will get you a half of a credit. So if you complete 1 full year of English 1, for instance, that would be 1 credit. Okay, and that's how we track our credits, and how we count our credits is basically each semester is a half a credit, a full year is 1 credit. And it can't just be one certain type of class either. It's got to be a diverse type of program, but the total number of credits is 24. So if you just kind of from the top down, we require 4 years of English, or 4 credits of English. We do require a reading class. However, some of you will test out of that class, so it's not really 3 years required. It's just if you don't test out, you would take 3 years of it. 3 years of math, 3 years of science, 2 years of social studies, 3.5 years. Basically, every semester you're in school, you're required to have PE class. Health, when you're in health, that's the 1 semester you don't have to take PE. Everybody's required to take driver's ed. Computer concepts is a requirement, consumer education, and then we look at the 1 year of foreign language, art, music, or vocational classes. And then however many electives, depending on where you're at with reading class, however many electives it would take to get you to that 24 total credits. Oh, skipped ahead here. Speaking of credits, credits and grade point average, like I mentioned, you earn credit by the semester, and all the classes are worth the same amount of credit. We do have the CEO program, which you'll hear more about later. It does basically give double credits because it's just a more lengthier amount of time.
Pardon the interruption. Please avoid using the gym from 3 to 4 as they are filming a dance competition. Thank you.
Now, since you're required to take a certain number of classes or credits in each area, if you don't pass a class, a D or higher, then you have to continue taking that class until you pass it. We just don't put you through or to the next grade level if you sit through a class. You've got to pass that, earn credit, and move on. If you don't pass the class, you've got to retake it. Your cumulative grade point average is figured at the end of each semester, and we only look at semester grades. So we do have quarters here, but 2 quarters will combine for 1 semester grade. You'll get to know that a little bit as you go through as well. All right, the other thing in terms of talking about failures of classes, if you aren't passing your classes and you have to go back and retake certain ones, that just means that eats up time that you could be taking other electives or something that you're really interested in taking. If you fail English 1 your freshman year, you have to take sophomore year your English 1 and English 2 during the same time or same semester, and you wouldn't be able to take something like Spanish or a shop class or something like that something that you're really looking forward to taking. So that is one thing to keep in mind. Another reason to be successful in your classes. All right, we talked about post-secondary. That just means college or education after high school. One of the options or one of the pathways for you once you graduate high school is to enter a 4-year college. A 4-year college could be like Western Illinois University or the University of Iowa, a 4-year college or university. And these schools require certain standards or classes in order to enroll in those schools right away after high school. And it's very similar to what we require to graduate from Illini West, but there are a couple instances or a couple colleges that may require above and beyond what we require to graduate. So for instance, a lot of 4-year colleges here, you can see, require 3 years of social studies where we require, just 2. So that's another reason it's kind of, as I sit down and do your 4-year plan with you next fall, if you tell me that you're interested in a 4-year college, then we will plan out, the certain requirements that it would take for you to enroll in that school. And then, 2 years of foreign language, we really only require 1 year. So it's those kind of differences that 4-year colleges are looking for. Some additional requirements when you're looking at a 4-year school, they do look at test scores. Like I said, that's kind of on a hiatus right now for a lot of schools, but typically they're looking for a minimum test score, an SAT or ACT score in order to enroll at that school. They're looking for not only did you take the right classes, but did you have a decent grade point average? Did you get decent grades for those classes? And you need to be ranking about the top half of your class, okay? There are some schools that take lower ranked individuals if they have a higher test score, those kind of things. But each school is unique, and that's why it's important to start exploring those things right away. Another option would be community college, a 2-year school. As far as requirements, they don't require as many, they don't have as stringent or strict requirements. They typically just require a high school diploma. However, if you do plan to transfer to a 4-year school, you want to make sure you're still taking a lot of those high school classes that would get you to that 4-year school, even though you're starting at the community college level. Typically, a community college is going to require you to take a math and English placement test to see what kind of level you're at with those classes. You might have to take in remedial classes if you don't score high enough. However, we do have some transitional classes that we are developing with Carl Sandburg College that take care of those kind of remedial classes. And as you progress through Illini West, we will go over those a little bit more in detail. Another option is military. Is obviously one of the career choices that we have students going into. We do have visitors regularly from the military branches, some more than others, but those kids are allowed to talk to those military branches we do by law, we have to release a directory of contact information for our juniors and seniors. So when you get to that age, your parents will be asked, is it okay for the military to contact you via, mail or email or phone? And that's just a yes or no question that you get at registration. And at that point, if you select yes, then when the military requests it, I would send out a contact information for you as long as it's approved by your family. We offer the ASVAB exam for juniors and seniors, and that's just a military placement exam. They look at that score in order to kind of match up different careers within the military and types of programs that you'd be eligible for. We do give that. It's a free test, usually in November. Some of the recruiters will come by and proctor the exam. There will be another civilian that gives that. So at that point, I kind of step out and they give the test, and it's a morning every time. More information on that is available here in the guidance office, including study guides, things like that. Our expectation is a high level of college and career readiness. That's a big thing that the state is, a big buzzword right now is college and career readiness. In the past, schools would be judged on, strictly just test scores, those kind of things. But as we've evolved here, we've learned that, it's not just a test score that kind of shows our progress. We want to make sure that you guys are involved in things and have different certifications maybe and doing community service. And the state has basically opened up guidelines and benchmarks for those things too. So however, the test scores are still looked at. So we make sure we're measuring those reading and math scores yearly as well. Again, typically you guys would have taken what's called a PSAT by now for us, but we could not give that this past fall due to the pandemic. So, but every year you're in high school, you'll take a PSAT, and then your junior year, you would take what's called the SAT, which you guys are probably familiar with, but you would take that test, and colleges use that for admission, but it's also used to help kind of measure where the school's at as a whole as well. We also give the reading test, which you guys, hopefully all of you have taken by now, to place you in or out of the reading program. We have a math group that's available to those that need extra support in math. So, we do those things so that we can get that college and career readiness level raised. In the fall, you guys will all sit down with me and make a 4-year plan. I totally, definitely do not expect you to have everything figured out at that point. It's just kind of giving me an idea of what you've thought about doing after high school and what you're interested in and kind of where you're at with all that, including, have you thought, do you have any dream colleges or anything like that, or a military kind of pathway you'd want to go to? We'll talk about everything that you're wanting to do in high school, and we'll just kind of update that every year. It's just interesting to see how those things progress. And, some people stick right out of that original plan. Some people either have no clue or don't know what they want to do, throughout high school or after. And some have a plan and it totally changes. So I expect that. And like I said, I do not expect you to have everything, figured out freshman year in the fall. So it's just a good time for you to sit down with me and we'll talk about those things. All right, our schedule, we have a 7-period day. Again, in this current school year, it's been all changed around, but our expectation is that we are back to our regular school day in the 21-22 school year, the 7-period day, 50-minute per period. We'll have a 40-minute lunch after 4th period. And basically, your expectation is, you want to earn 6 to 7 credits per year. We have a study hall / tutoring period that you could possibly take, but if you take 6 credits per year over 4 years, you're at 24. that's the number of credits you need in order to graduate. So you need to at least have 6 credits per year enrolled in passing. Dual credit classes. So dual credit classes are classes that you would take. It starts junior year, your eligibility, and actually it's a summer after sophomore year, right before junior year, that you'd be able to start taking these classes. And these are classes that are actually college classes, but you get both college and high school credit for. We take those through Carl Sandburg College, our local district college here. And you know, you have to pass a placement exam in order to be eligible for them. And we, you know, if you register for those classes through me, then we'll take you over to the college. You'll take a placement test, you know, meet that test score that they want, and then you can take it the following summer or fall. Great deal on these is that it's 50% tuition, so parents like that. Basically, it's a half tuition scholarship, and you can take 6 credits per semester, and they count their credits differently than we do. 6 of their credits would be 2 classes, so you could take 2 classes at half the cost, saving your parents some money there. It is important to know that you are starting a college transcript when you take these classes, and everything figures in for your overall college grade point average as well. So you need to take those seriously. If you don't pass the class, you don't get a refund or anything. You still would have to owe the money. Sometimes different, you know, if you get a D, that may not transfer to certain colleges. So you just want to make sure that you're ready for these classes and take them seriously. We have started what's called the Charge Ahead program. And basically what that is, it's a totally outlined plan for students to be able to graduate high school and graduate with their associate's degree at the same time. It takes quite a bit of effort. You know, if you're involved in a lot of things, I don't know if it's the best avenue for you, but it is a possibility. And we would be talking about that at the end of your sophomore year. So it's coming up here soon, but we do have that possibility to get your associate's degree, which is your 2-year degree. And at that point, you'd really only have 2 years left of a bachelor's degree, you know, depending on where you transfer. So it's a great accomplishment. It's a great opportunity, but it's also not for everyone either. You know, you're going to be taking classes outside of the school day. You know, if you're playing sports or if you're involved in things that take, you know, working and those kind of things, it can be extremely difficult, but it is a possibility and an opportunity for our students. We have extracurricular activities, and that can range from anything from, you know, athletics to the school play, yearbook club, those kind of things. We do have a lot of opportunities for you to be involved. The physical, insurance waiver, and medical info, all that stuff has to be on file before you would start a sport. We do have the physical forms in the packet, and you all as incoming freshmen have to do a physical anyway, so it can be that sport, that it can also serve as a sports physical, and you have to get a new sports physical every year. The freshman physical can serve as your sports physical every year. So let me go back to the forms. I wasn't going to go through every one or show you every one. It's just a lot of information for you. Here on the left side, obviously, the agenda just talks about who's speaking and presenting tonight for this presentation. The health department flyer it just gives you information on, you know, what immunizations and those kind of things are required year by year. I think there are some required for freshman year. You'd have to refer to that. We have a letter from Illini West in regards to the requirements. At a certain point, you know, you have to get those taken care of, those immunizations and health records and all that, before you can attend here. So that's very important, you know, between now and then, just kind of start working on that, make sure you have everything taken care of. The physical form, like we talked about, the IWHS driver's ed sheet gives information on driver's education. You have to be turning 15 basically in the semester that you're going to be taking driver's ed. So, you know, within a freshman class, there's going to be some that take the driver's ed in the first semester, some that take it in the second, and then there'll be some freshmen that don't take it until their sophomore year because of their date of birth. So that explains kind of that process. There's an athletic information sheet, the coach's information sheet, you know, with contact information, email, phone numbers, those kind of things. Information on our reading program and the math placement, and then the musical opportunities that we have here with band, choir, and school play, musical, those kind of things. On the right side, just a listing of contents, and then that important class registration form, the blue one. Then you have the freshman course options for next year that you can pick from, select from for your classes. Graduation credit requirements, like I said, the 24 credits, you know, and the breakdown on that, so good information there. And then there's an individual career plan, and that's basically what we would fill out when we talk in the fall. A listing of all courses offered by grade level that we have here at Illini West, and then your college entrance requirement courses. So a lot of good info in that folder. I'm not gonna, you know, we don't have to read through every one of them. Please, you know, try to go through it, look at the information, and you know, definitely come to your back to your school with that registration form filled out to the best of your ability. Let me pull up that form again. I do want to kind of explain this. So this is the form everybody should have your name up here on the left. Most of you will be taking English 1. If you have an IEP, you might be in the vocational English. That might be written down there. All right, for number 2, it's basically either Algebra 1 or Algebra 1A. So Algebra 1A is it's Algebra 1, but it's kind of taken at a slower pace. So you take Algebra 1A as a freshman and then 1B as a sophomore. So they're kind of spreading out algebra into 2 years. And we based that decision on recommendations from your junior high math teachers. So, you know, they aren't trying to single anyone out. They just want to put you in the best position. We want to put you in the best position as well to be successful. If you are a parent, you know, disagree with that placement, you can always contact me. We just wanted to see what your teacher's recommendation was. Number 3 is the same deal. So you're either in biology 1 or the life in general science path. Even if you take life in general science as a freshman, you can take biology as a sophomore and still get your math or science credits taken care of that way. Number 4, everybody will have a semester of health and a semester of PE. We do have weight training as an option. So I will ask when we do registration, you know, for the PE, if you want to take, you know, PE, which is, you know, your typical team sports, dodgeball, basketball, those kind of things. Or if you want to take weight training, which if you're going to play a sport, it's probably a good idea to take that. And you need to take that seriously as well. Number 5, like I said, some of you may not be eligible for driver's ed your freshman year, but if you are, please circle the which semester you would fit in, and that driver's ed sheet kind of tells you the birth date breakdown. And there'd be an open spot here for an elective, and we talk more about electives when I come and talk to you guys. And then, you know, you might have reading put down here. So if you didn't, you know, meet that reading benchmark, then you probably have reading in number 6. If not, that's an open spot for 6 and 7 for other electives. And those are listed on your freshman course options. And again, please bring this form with you to school on the day you select classes. Hopefully it's mostly filled out, you know, write your questions down. But it's also okay to contact me via email or phone call. Here's my contact information. At Illini West, it's pretty simple email format. It's just the last name dot first name at illiniwest.org. So if you have questions, you can always contact me that way. So that's the end of my first part of the presentation. We'll go on to the next part, and we'll pick it back up after a couple other presentations. Thanks for bearing with me, and I'll see you in a few.
I was drawn to the program at the very first page of their website when it said, "Think outside of the box." And so that was something that drew me in, and a way to engage students in a different type of learning.
We are hungry for young people with ambition and desire to grow Western Illinois. We have many flourishing businesses in our communities. What we're hungry for are the young people that want to stay here and help them grow. And so the CEO program is where they start to think about that.
We had a lot of support materials, the Midland Institute for Entrepreneurship, so that we weren't out there blindly. We were able to really promote the program in a professional manner.
In small communities, if we're going to thrive, it has to come from within. It has to be, we can't be waiting on someone to come in and bail us out. It really has to come from our own. And if we're gonna, thrive going forward, it really needs to come from the younger generation. And, who better than those high school kids that, maybe don't know what opportunities really are out there for them.
Well, I guess first and foremost, my decision to study entrepreneurship in college can be largely attributed to my time in the CEO program. Even when I talk to professors, and I can share my experience at owning my own business, working on the team, with our class business, I can better connect to them in their lecture.
Then when I took the CEO program, it kind of really opened my eyes to the world and what there really was out there, especially the business community in our immediate area in Hancock County.
Building relationships and networking with people. I've been able to build so many relationships with my professors or my advisors, or even people on my floor, because I've taken CEO and have learned how to do that. Through CEO, as we were taking business visits and having guest speakers come and speak to us, I had no idea how many businesses we had in Hancock County. We have so many businesses here that even if you pass every day, you don't know what's inside, you have no idea who runs them, you don't ever get to see that.
Well, I knew that a lot of business existed in Hancock County. I didn't necessarily know and really understand the full scale of Hancock County business and how those businesses are really thriving in our county. And I didn't ever think, and I would have never had, this understanding or appreciation for businesses in Hancock County without the CEO experience.
I was never one that wanted to come back after college and come back to Hancock County, but after taking the class, I would definitely be open to the idea of starting a business, a smaller business in Carthage or in the Hancock County community.
The numbers haven't been huge in terms of the number of students, but if you ask anybody that's been in contact with those students from the beginning of the year to the end, every single one of them will tell you the drastic changes they've seen in the kids, just in their confidence and their ability to speak publicly or look someone in the eye or shake someone's hand.
Not only does it give them 8 college credits and high school credits as well. But most importantly, it opens those doors for the kids that they would normally never have opened for them. They meet businessmen and women all over the county and beyond. They learn those essential life skills, that firm handshake, that eye contact, that interpersonal skill that helps them be a young adult.
The biggest impact that CEO has had on Hancock County really is just the development of our students. It is still exciting to me after 5 years to have the first day of class and then watch those students transform as they go through the program and have their own personal business at the trade show at the end of the year. There is nothing like imagining them on the first day nervous and scared and shy, and watching them stand confidently with social skills and leadership and interacting with the public and the community, owning their own business and taking responsibility for their actions and all of those things as they proudly stand at their trade show booths at the end of the year.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jennifer McFadden. I'm the agriculture teacher and FFA advisor here at Illini West High School. And in agriculture, we cover a lot of different topics. As a freshman, you would be in the Introduction to Ag class. And in the Introduction to Ag class, we cover a wide range of topics, ranging from introduction to FFA, all the way to forestry, to livestock judging, to field crops, to horticulture. We hit on a lot of different topics to see what you'd be interested in. Once you get, junior, senior, you can take those more specific classes. We offer a lot of different options once you get past the introduction to ag. So we have classes such as horticulture, greenhouse, ag mechanics, ag business. We even do a vet science class, a food science class. We have our own agriculture science class. There's so many options. I can't stress that enough, that hopefully you'll like at least just one of them. And to join agriculture, you don't have to have any background knowledge of farming and agriculture itself. That's what I'm here for. Okay. So even if you don't know if you'd be interested, feel free to still sign up for Introduction to Ag. And that's a good class just to get your feet a little wet and to see if it's for you or not. After Introduction to Ag the first semester, we go through all of what FFA is and what opportunities it provides. And some of those opportunities are conferences and conventions. So every year a non-COVID year, we travel to Indianapolis for the National FFA Convention. And we meet up with about 80,000 FFA members. So National FFA is the largest student-run organization in the country. So we even beat Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. So there's over 750,000 FFA members, and it's just growing more and more every year. So at National FFA, we get to network with those members from all across the country in the Virgin Islands and Guam, Puerto Rico. And where else would you be able to get those opportunities? Then when it comes to conferences, we offer a wide variety of conferences, whether it's a conference for you and to build your own like goal setting or gain more leadership skills on your own, or even some team conferences that you can go to if you're part of the FFA officer team. So there's a lot of different opportunities for conferences, camps, conventions that you can attend to help better yourself and to help maybe better serve, the rest of the students at Illini West. With FFA, we compete in many different contests. We compete in at least 30 different events every year. So some of those events range from forestry, where we ID trees, soil judging, to livestock judging. We do a lot of livestock judging. We even have a horticulture contest. We have trap shoots and we have archery shoots. There is a lot of events that even if you're not an animal person, we have an ag business contest. There's something for you, and there's something for you to participate in. Along with your participations, the biggest thing that I know high school students love is money. So last year alone, Illini West FFA members earned over $180,000. And they did this through whether it's owning their own business, owning their own livestock, working for somebody else. Our students earned that money this year. That's a good chunk of change. So we help provide those opportunities for you. We help make those connections for you so you can get that job or you can have that opportunity to help make some of that money. And to go along with that, once you get to be a senior, which I know is a far way down the road right now, but we do offer over $100,000 in scholarships. So the National FFA organization offers a wide variety of scholarships. And then we have many local scholarships that you can apply for, but I know that's way down the road there. So if you ever have any questions about agriculture here at Illini West or FFA, let myself know or even Mr. Bliss, and we can get you set in the right direction. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you all in the fall.
Hello, my name is Mr. G. I'm the IT director here at Illini West High School. Just going to go through a few different things that I'm involved with that I'd love to see you have a chance to be involved with as well as you approach. I'll also go through a little bit of registration help and also a little bit of just the technology generally here at Illini West. As you enter our school next year, there's several things that you can be noting. One, we are a Google school, and so you will have access to a Google account through illiniwest.org. A lot of that information is going to be given to you at the start of the year on a cheat sheet that will look something like this. This will give you information not only on your Google account, but it'll also give you information on your email. It'll give you information on your PowerSchool information, and it will also give you information on your Microsoft account. And so there you'll have access to all of the Google apps, but you'll also have access to all of the Microsoft apps, including Word and Excel. While this year has been very different in terms of having Chromebooks and laptops checked out to every student, we're not totally sure what the plan is for next year at this time. So please stay tuned to find out if your child will be getting a laptop or a Chromebook checked out to them. Our hope is to have laptops and Chromebooks in every child's hand, whether they're here or at home, so they can do some of the homework that's out there. If you ever have any questions with any of this technology here at the high school, please feel free to email me at mrg@illiniwest.org. As you move towards registration, we do all of our registration online. Once your student is entered into our system, which should have been done this spring, what will happen is we will generate a passcode and a passkey for you guys to get in. I've created a video that might help you walk through it. It's going to be on our website and it looks like that. And we will continue to update that and then of course help you whenever you need to. You'll be getting a letter either in the mail or it might already be in your handout with your username and password. And what you do is begin to link an account. You will create your own account as a parent to link you to your student's PowerSchool account, and then you can track grades and those kind of things. Everything is done online. Of course, if you have any questions or if you need to give other information, please feel free to call our front desk staff, either Keisha Heaton or Lachey Ramirez. Both are phenomenal and will be able to help you out and get that information inputted. When you go through that registration, the phone numbers that you enter in that registration process actually move into our school messenger. So those are the numbers that we will either email or we will message or call when we have those cancellations or snow days or whatever the case might be. So make sure we get those right numbers because that changes everything. Technology here at Illini West is something that we take very seriously and trying to continue to be cutting edge. And part of that is the idea of creating some tech-oriented students and some tech-related fields and areas that they can interject into. One of the areas that we have started is what's called esports. Esports is the playing of video games at a professional level. We do have an esports team. The coach is Mr. Willis. I'm an assistant coach on that. And right now we have several games that we play in a competitive vein. We are looking to grow this as we grow larger and as we move into this field more and more. So if your student has an interest in playing video games, which a lot of them do, please feel free to get them in touch with us. We can't play every game. We can't play every game competitively, but we certainly want to encourage them that there is a lot of opportunity in that world, not only as the actual players, but also as all of the people that support that in the infrastructure that is around esports. It's growing very fast and very large, and it's something that we definitely want to keep focused on. Another thing that we have is Technology Club. The Technology Club, of course, this year has been a little more difficult to continue just due to the COVID and some of the restrictions that are in place. But as we move into next year, I do want to open that back up where we can talk with kids about just technology in general. This isn't the esports, but this would be the things like creating their own computers, building their own computers, learning about the basics of computing, cybersecurity, networking, a lot of the different things. It's a broad category. We just want to have a chance to learn about those. I run that as a sponsor. Another area we're really excited about is what's called Horsehead Studios. You probably have watched them already. We have our own YouTube channel. We have our own equipment in our office. We have a green screen. We have a digital video class. We have equipment that is phenomenal. And one of the things that we've been super excited about is this Horsehead Studios concept of how do we interject ourselves and push ourselves into the digital world. One of the ways we can do this is through digital video, digital media, and formatting. We've created a class, digital video production or digital production, that we certainly are excited about, but we also have Horsehead Studios where students can then broadcast, and we do live events here at the school. We're continuing to upgrade cameras, and our hope is that we will actually be able to have some very high-end cameras to be able to watch some of these games. You might have been watching some of the live games already on the YouTube, on YouTube. And we are really excited to be able to offer that as a free thing for anyone. So as your students come in, if they're interested in broadcasting, if they're interested in the media world, if they're interested even in the social media world and streaming and twitching and all of the things that are out there now, Horsehead Studios is really the ideal place to put them into, plug them in, and see what we can do. In the end, Illini West is at the cutting edge of technology. In every classroom, we have interactive TVs. In every classroom, we have a teacher-driven desktop that's connected to that TV, and they can remote and do live work at any given time. Our teachers are phenomenal at using that technology, and we continue to train with them and try and make them as good as we possibly can. Our hope is that with the advent of so much technology in our world, that we give our students an opportunity to both experience that technology, hopefully touch that technology, and then maybe even get them involved in what that technology means, both in the education sense, but also just in the world sense. So as we move forward, I'm always open to new ideas with technology, and I would love to chat with you or your students at any given time. Thanks for watching. I hope this was informative. And if you ever have any questions, remember, again, my email address is mrg@illiniwest.org. And I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much.
Okay, I just wanted to wrap things up. I wanted to remind you, let me pull up the share screen here, remind you about the form to bring with you on the week of March 1st for registration. Just make sure that's filled out. If you have any questions about that, you can bring those questions with you as well. Again, parents, if you want to contact me ahead of time or even throughout the rest of the school year into next, that's fine as well. I also wanted to let you know if you had if you need any information on athletics here at Illini West, you can always email Zach Houston, our athletic director, at houston.zach@illiniwest.org. He can put you on an email list, get you information, those kind of things. So again, just wrapping things up. I really appreciate you bearing with us to get this freshman orientation taken care of, and hope you found it informative and are kind of ready, a little bit more ready for that next step. And again, if you need anything, please let me know. Other than that, I will see you at the Loop in the fall, and I will talk to you later. Good luck.
Thank you for watching Freshman Orientation. Once again, feel free to contact us if you have any questions. Thanks again for watching.